Today, we're going to talk about something special. You see, in 1938, there's a hurricane that put this city underwater, or at least the first 15 feet of it, which is the first story and a lot of the second story of most buildings, homes, and businesses in downtown Providence were underwater. Because Narragansett Bay funneled up and came blasting up into downtown, inundating the city. And that's why we erected this, the hurricane barrier. That right there is a set of doors that can be triggered to stop the bay from coming up and flooding the city. Now here's the thing. In your professional persuasive communications, you are probably triggering the barrier that stops your message from getting through and being effective. Here's how it works. It has to do with confirmation bias, which is one of the strongest forces in human psychology. Basically, anything we believe, we will take new evidence and use it to confirm that prior belief. So there was a famous experiment showing how powerful this is around the use of the electric chair and the death penalty. A little dark, I know, but stay with me. That's the electric generating station, also a little relevant to our story here. So in this study, they took people and polled them for their belief on the death penalty. Are you for it or are you against it? And then divided those two groups into two groups each. And for the people who were initially for the death penalty, they gave half of them real data, real information, valid studies that supported their belief. And they gave the other half information, valid studies, strong data that contradicted their belief. And they did for the same thing for people who were opposed to the death penalty and for the death penalty. Both were split into two groups, with some information confirming, some contradicting. Now, in both cases, whether you were for it or against it, if you got information that supported your belief, guess what? Surprise, surprise, you became even stronger in your belief, for or against. But here's where it gets weird. If you were given information that contradicted your position, you didn't just believe a little more in your position, you believed a lot more in your position. So contradictory evidence actually makes belief stronger. The evidence works against itself. Now here's the problem. When you make a claim, you force the person to lower the hurricane barrier. We have to defend against incoming claims, otherwise we'd be led around by every claim that came our way. Oh, this miracle potion will cure everything. Okay. No, your default position has to be nuh-uh, and then you look for evidence to support your belief. You look for evidence to support your belief. And the very fact that a claim was made creates a belief of nuh-uh. I don't believe you. I don't believe your claim. And now all incoming evidence that you're using to try and prove your claim is actually helping me double down against you. That's why overcoming sales objections is so hard, because you lowered the hurricane barrier and now you're trying to get through it. Ditto for fundraisers, ditto for lobbyists, ditto for policy advocates, ditto for anyone trying to persuade a hiring manager to give them the job and not the other candidates. You make a claim, you trigger the barrier, and now your evidence strengthens the barrier. It's a disaster. So what can you do? Well, you can actually make all that evidence work for you instead of against you. Thanks, bud. Here's how you do it. First, don't start with a claim. Instead, because you're going to trigger disbelief in your claim. Start with a story that illustrates the truth of your claim by telling a story that gets you to go to the conclusion I wanted you to reach with my claim. Now it's your belief. And now all my evidence is confirming your belief. The takeaway here is claim then story, you lose. Story then claim, you win. So give that a try and enjoy the day.